Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. I'm just going to give you a quick update on where we are. We just crossed over past Bangkok and we are just about to commence our arrival preparations for the landing into Saigon, into Ho Chi Minh. So let's take a quick look at everything that's transpired while we were away and we'll jump right into it. So you can see they have already sort of started prepping for the arrival. Gotten to all the points yet, but we are going to go and take a look at which runway we're going to get, and we'll do an arrival briefing for said runway. So just to give you an idea on how far along the route we've come overnight, let me see if I can't just show you this once more. All right, seems to be some sort of trouble in paradise. Okay, guess the connection with my iPad isn't really working today. Well, you can imagine if you could take a look at the route and then maybe I can show it to you here on this iPad. We're right there at the squiggly end of it. Yeah, we've traversed the entire distance out from Copenhagen. And we're almost coming to the end of the flight. And it's been 10 hours and 16 minutes of flight time. And by the looks of it, we have less than an hour to go until we'll be on the ground in Saigon. Unfortunately, this digital latest just keeps showing up over and over. I mean, I can't seem to stop the auto updates. It seems to be stuck with me now. So it is what it is, unfortunately. Good, about 20 minutes to go till we drop. So I'm going to jump right into it. And let's go get an arrival ATIS from Tan Son Nhat. So we've spent we've not been online on VetSim the whole time. Obviously, we took a nap. So I was up here until, that doesn't actually give me the VetSim ATIS. All right, so I'll go ahead and get the VetSim ATIS for Tan Son Nhat, which is not available. All right, so there was a traffic control available, and it seems that they are no longer available. So what else is my weather? So yeah, here it is. A variable at 5 knots, 999, fuel 42, 31014. Fantastic afternoon in Tan Son Nhat, 1014. I quite like this feature on the 340s where you can, 350, sorry, where you can pre-select your altimeter. So you just need to pull instead of fumbling around for it. Based on that weather, let's take a look and decide what we're gonna expect. Have the AFC charts available here already. To me, I was thinking we'll probably end up doing the ILS approach for 25 right. Let's see if that would make sense for people on the ground once we arrive. Taxi routes arriving 25 right. So after we touch down 25 right, we're expected to either take Papa 5 or Papa 4, cross on Papa 5. To me, that makes sense. It's a shorter runway which they're going to use for landing. And then you can just taxi to your apron. And if you're a departure using the 25 direction, you just carry on to Sierra and then wait. So yeah, I think 25 right is a reasonable runway to expect. And we'll prepare for 25 right. Here's a Zulu approach. There's a Whiskey approach. I think the Whiskey approach actually connects better to the ILSs. Oh, it's 25 left, excuse me. 25 right Whiskey approaches. I think these waypoints actually connect a little bit better. So you see Bomzo and Suluk, right? So let's go back to the star and we'll pick RMP arrival from Seppen. You see Bomzo's available. So I think we're going to end up flying something like this. And how about a southern downwind? No. Okay, so we have a choice to go over the top here, or the 5 brings you to the south. 5 Bravo 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 brings you to the sou Oh, sorry, Sapin 5 Bravo. My mistake. I've been clicking the wrong one. Yeah. Or you have this one that brings you through to the south. Um, I'm feeling a little bit more overland, so let's go ahead and do the Sapin 5 November departure. And that connects with Bomzu, as we've seen, which was going to be part of the ILS Whiskey approach for 25 right. And then from Bomzu, we got 9 miles to the final approach fix. And it's a short beam ILS, actually not too short, 6-mile final, and we'll arrive in Tan Son Nhat. And then taxiing, as we discussed, with the arrival routing here, and APC, we're going to end up parking at the international terminal somewhere here. Pretty simple. So let's go ahead and put that into the box. Flight plan, arriving Tan Son Nhat. The arrival runway is going to be 25 right. We said it's going to be Sapin. I got an option for 5 Golf and 7 Charlie. Sapin 5 November is what we're going to want to do. So, okay, seems like we're missing it. Let's go ahead and maybe select the arrival first. Alice Whiskey 25 right. Via, there we go. Sapin 5 November via Bomzu. So all of that is in. Let's go ahead and insert that, and we'll see. Insert. Yeah, I mean, that looks like it, doesn't it? Like we have a nice northern downwind coming along. Just to give you guys a heads up, if you're flying something like this on a VetSim event, if it's very busy, there's a good chance you'll do the whole thing. This is called a point mode system. You notice here at Butka, actually at Nungo, they have you flat at 7,000, and then you're going to fly at that point. All those points is spaced out almost perfectly, 7, 7, 7, and 5. You're going to fly all those points at 7,000 feet flat. The reason that's designed that way is the idea is essentially from anywhere from Nungo onwards, you can directly fly to Bomzu. Yeah, so depending on traffic, if you got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys here, they'll shoot the first guy down, and as soon as it's spacing for the next guy, they'll shoot him down this way. So essentially, it's called the point merge because all of these waypoints will converge onto the same final waypoint there, which is Bomzu. As such, that's what we're going to do. We're going to come down on the Butka arrival. As we get to Nungo, we're going to give ourselves a direct to Bomzu, provided that there's no traffic in and around the area. For us, from that point on, it's going to be the ILS Whiskey, RMP1, so we require GNSS, Bomzu, and Tango Sierra 426, Bomzu between 5 and 4 at max 230. So you got that flight level 70 there, 230, between 5 and 4, 230 is there, max 230. So that's going to be about 15 miles out, so we can consider being a clean speed there, or just over a little bit, or starting to configure. 10 miles we'll consider to have at least flaps 1, and I think by 6 miles we'll be fully configured for the arrival into Tan Son Nhat. Mr. Approach, pretty straight ahead, fly straight ahead, sorry, climb to 2000, it's not all that high up, so it might be wise to get good control of the aircraft and engage the autopilot. 3,000 meter long runway, transition level is 100, and we're using a Category D aircraft, Cat 1 minima, required 330 feet ceiling and 800 RVR, all of which we're compliant with. So we'll go ahead and set 370 for our minimum today. So we'll go to Performance, go to the Approach tab here, at 370. I do believe we're going to use config 3. We're not overly heavy. Doesn't seem to be any performance implications. So we'll go config 3. Speeds are nice. I'll fill this out shortly. Another thing you guys need to be aware of if you ended up flying to Tan Son Nhat and it's controlled, you'll see that the runway 07 also has the point merge system, something like this. What you can expect is to fly practically a straight in. So if you end up following your VNAV, it's going to get you quite high and you might struggle to get down. 25 right's a little bit more lenient because you cover anyway because you need to get to the other side of the airport. Super. So with that said, that's the arrival discussed. Let's take a look at the fuel situation and the weight situation. So at the moment, We weigh 184.3. Need to remind myself what the maximum landing weight on this aircraft is. Maximum landing weight 207. Okay, so we're well below the maximum landing weight. It's made to land with 12.5, and to go to alternate, I think it was 5 point something, if I'm not mistaken. Fuel and load 7.5 to alternate. So we've got a decent amount of additional fuel, about 5 tons additional, and I think that's going to give us just over 30 minutes, based on the fuel flow. I'm not entirely sure. We're just going to check here. 110.5 Hotel Charlie Mike will come up online once we're there. 1105 Hotel Charlie Mike. In terms of landing performance, as discussed, we'll do a flap 3 landing, config 3. And we want to exit here on Papa 6. That looks to be slight displaced threshold here. Touchdown. Papa 5, sorry, 3,000 meters for that runway. And we're taking about 400 out, maybe 500. So we got about 2,000 something meters, and I think that can be done. Let's go ahead and check. Config 3, manual, reverses, no. I'm not giving reverser credit because I want to see what's like with idle reverse. So yeah, plenty of margin. So we're gonna do config 3, and we'll go ahead and select our brake to vacate point as well. The weather we had received, again, variable at 5 knots, 30 degrees 1014. 30. Variable at 5 knots. So what I'm going to do is, because it's variable, I'm going to pretend it's going to be a tailwind. So course 249 is the course that we're landing into. So wind from 249 will be a headwind. So we're going to switch that around. +2 -2, 069. So we're going to give us 069 at 5 knots. That puts us in the tailwind category, just in case. So we'll pretend that we have 5 knots of tailwind. There we go. Transition level 100's in here, and we are almost all sorted out. We just need to go ahead and set up our brake to vacate point. Excuse me. There tends to be a few frame drops as it sorts itself out in the background. You can see here how much excess braking performance we have. So we're going to touch down, idle reverse. I'm not even going to bother with manual braking because she's going to do it herself. And that being said, the quickest way to exit is Papa 4 and then a left on Papa. So I mean, I think it's going to be quite 1-2 braking zones. So I think I'd rather just go for the Papa 5 and then just get quickly off the runway Papa 5 and slide on to hold short of 25 left. Good. 43 minutes for a quick turnaround. 64 if we don't use the reversers. We're not going to use the reversers, so it's going to be at least an hour on the ground. The exit's about 2 kilometers in, and we will be about 63 seconds utilizing the runway. Good. Brake to vacate point is selected, and auto brakes are now on. Oh. Did I do something wrong? Is that not how we do it? Okay, I set the brake to vacate point. BTV, perfect. BTV is armed. I'm also going to set the VOR up here, Tango Sierra Hotel, and that just gives me a direct to the airport, which tells me at the bare minimum, if I was to fly like a heli, like straight and land at the airfield, how many miles I have. And I tend to base my descent based on this, and any additional miles that I end up flying is to my benefit that I can use for energy management at some other point. So Tango Sierra Hotel, Tan Son Nhat VOR 116.8, pre-selected. And this will be the point where we commence our descent, so we'll start soon. So we're expecting to touch down at 0617, which would be in Vietnamese time 13:17, so it's currently 12:40. So 37 minutes for the arrival. It gives you flight and block time, 10:32 of flight and 10:55 block. Oh, that reminds me, folks. I'm going to have to leave you for a quick second. I have some medication that I need to take. All right, thanks for waiting. I think we should soon be at the descent point shortly. There are some additional speed restrictions that have been in place. You can see them on the Lido chart, sorry, on the JEP charts here. They want us between 190 and 200 knots when we're on base leg or close to final approach, or at 25 miles from the threshold. At 200 knots. We are to maintain between 160 to 180 when we're establishing the final approach course, and between 150 to 160 up to 5 miles. So it's essentially 160 to 5, isn't it? So we can comply with all of that. All right, just about 10 miles to go. Initial restriction is going to be 8,000 Sapin. We could go ahead and set that. And we'll commence a gentle descent. Don't think there's a descent checklist next. Oh shit. Did we not finish the lineup checklist? Oopsie. There's only an approach checklist next. So the pod is coming down to us now, and we'll soon hit idle thrust. Thrust for descent, which is idle. And down we go. Sorry, folks. I'm just here on a group chat discussing how shit my taxi skills are and how I come to a stop. Oh shit! Okay, problem solved. Alright, let me set my position here. Everything is going according to plan. I'll just turn the autopilot back on. All right, nice. I knocked my side stick here. You see here, if we were, it says here 15 miles, 47 miles from Tan Son Nhat. I rounded up to nearest 10, so I say 15 miles from Tan Son Nhat. And if you were using runway 07, you essentially got to go pretty much something like this. And if you get a direct day at 50 miles, you need to be at level 150. So you suddenly find yourself 10,000 feet too high with too much energy. That's unlikely to make it, especially if you don't have a headwind to help you out. Just my 2 cents. Let's see how many track miles we've got left. About 111 miles if we do the full thing, which is, well, if we were at cruise level, we'd have just started our descent at Saigon, because that's a lot of track miles to cover until we get to the runway. All right, guys, it's gonna be VR time shortly. I'm just gonna check. Yep, that's accurate. That works. And I'm gonna ask for a couple minutes of your time just so I can very quickly get myself set up for VR. The audio devices have been moved over. I don't like the auto switching because there are times that I like to have the audio on the desktop and just VR for moving my face around. All right, guys, I am going to ask you for a second while I switch to VR. Hold up. All right, folks, welcome back. We're in VR now. Thanks for your patience and thanks for waiting.
getting myself comfortable. Yeah, I think that's it. And let's put this as our mid position. This is with DLSS. You see a little bit of ghosting as the numbers go by pretty quickly. But as far as I'm concerned, 1380 is fine. Next altitude 7000. When we're north of Tan Son Nhat, on radial 180, I'll check in and I'll advise that we're inbound to any traffic that might be. Oh, not even on Unicom. I was wondering why it was quiet. Asia tends to be quiet anyway, so I thought that's probably why. 122.8, there we go. And here they're gonna slow us, but we're gonna do something interesting. We're gonna keep the speed in. So we'll use VS to keep their descent rate going, and we'll use speed window open to continue keeping our speed all the way down. So technically at 250 below 10, but let's just say we've been approved for high speed. And what we're gonna do is 250 below 6, let's say. We're not gonna go above 250 knots while we're below 5,000 feet. So I like to keep 6 as my platform, so I can use that to decelerate. That's through the transition level there, level 100. Let's go ahead and set the altimeter to 1014. 10,000 feet has been crossed. So I'm gonna get the seatbelt signs on and the landing lights on. Logo lights will go off. Speed limit exceeded, yes, that was intentional. And we're gonna go I'll check in with Tan Son Nhat traffic. Ho Chi Minh Tan Son Nhat traffic, Vietnam 38 heavy is 25 miles north of Tan Son Nhat VOR, inbound for the ILS Whiskey approach, runway 25 right, currently approaching position Putka next to Bomzu. Ho Chi Minh traffic, Vietnam 38 heavy. Here we are at 7,000 feet, leveling off, and I think now it's safe to go back to 250 knots here. Speed error at Butko. Yeah, you're right, we were too fast at Butko. Butka, sorry. And we can get the checklist out the way, the Pro checklist. Pro checklist. Barrel reference. QNH 1014. Seatbelts are on, minimums is set, it's 370. Runway condition is a dry runway and the auto brake is set to BTV. The Pro checklist is complete. I'm waiting for Nungo. Once we pass Nungo, we're going to fly direct to Bomzu and descend at 5,000. I'll get the landing scale ready. passing Nungo now. 5,000 feet. We'll do a nice gentle descent at 500 foot per minute and fly direct to Bomzo. We'll be level in 3 minutes. $1,000 to level, so another 2 minutes to level off. So the airport should be somewhere in that direction now. I don't see it yet. There is an airport down there by the look of it, but that can't be Tan Son Nhat. That's a bit too close. Technically I just need to be between 5 and 4. Let's go ahead and put 4,000 feet here. So Bomzu below 5,000, above 4,000. 4,000 is set. And max 230. Speed 230 not set. D8 is received. Let's clear that message. Let's go onto the performance page and activate the approach mode. Confirm. If you remember from the speed restrictions on the intercept, we need to be 200 knots. So we're gonna go a little bit closer. Once we get 230, let's go ahead and set 200 knots. Set. Hotel Charlie Mike ILS is identified at 16 miles to go. I'll let the nav mode do the turn in for me, and once we're on the turn, I'll engage the localizer. You can see the runway just there. Let's go ahead and give ourselves another replay recording. Right, just recording arrival. After Bomzu, next altitude 2000. We can go ahead and set 2000 here. And I'll keep this descent rate going. Ho Chi Minh, Tan Son Nhat traffic, Vietnam 38 heavy. 14 miles out on the ILS Whiskey approach, runway 25 right, Tan Son Nhat traffic. Approach mode can go armed. Land 3 single. Let's go ahead with flaps 1. Once on the localizer, speed 180, which is set. Actually, I think it's at 180 to 160. We'll do 180 to 10, and then we'll keep this speed here. Glide slope captured. Missed approach is quite low. It's 2,000 feet. It's set. Okay, she's trying a little bit with speed reduction. Let's give her an additional notch of flaps. That should help her slow down. 180 to 10 is satisfactory, and then let's go ahead and set 160. And we'll maintain that to 5 miles. She is unable to reduce the speed, so we're gonna go ahead with the next step, and we'll drop the landing gear.
2,500.
Tan Son Nhat traffic, Vietnam 38 heavy. 7 miles on the ILS, runway 25 right, landing 25 right, Tan Son Nhat traffic. Okay, I've given myself permission to land. And we can go ahead and set our landing flaps as well. And complete the landing checklist. Landing checklist complete. Missed approach altitude set. We cross the final approach point. On profile. 160 to 5. Alright, that's 5 miles. Speed is back to manage, so she'll bring it back to approach speed. 11 hours later. Manual flight.
$1,000.
Alright, 1,000 above the field. Gear down, flaps 3, so we're fully configured for landing.
$500.
100 above.
Minimum.
Threshold. And landing.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $5,
Speed brakes up, reverse is normal. CR5 next left. Auto brake off. Tan Son Nhat traffic, Vietnam 38 heavy, clear off runway 25 right. We'll hold short 25 left, Ho Chi Minh, Tan Son Nhat traffic, Vietnam 38 heavy. It looks clear, so safe to cross, I think. Vietnam traffic, Ho Chi Minh traffic, Vietnam 38 heavy, crossing runway 07 right, 25 left, Tan Son Nhat traffic. Alright, stow those reversers, flaps can go up. Standby, PWS can go off. Very nice. So we'll taxi straight on until we get to what's this thing called?
Tan Son traffic sample 177, bridging back on Victor facing west.
Victor facing west, okay. So we're going to stop at CR5 to see where the Singapore goes. Last turn is likely going to be to the right anyway, so we can go ahead and shut down engine number 2 shortly. Three minutes of cooldown. Engine number 2. Off. Alright, let's see if GSX can't sort us out with the gate. This is Victor 1 to the right. So the next one is going to be Sierra 6, that's going to be ours. Take a look here at the APC chart to see where we're ending up. It's going to be anywhere between 9 to 22. 9 to 22. So it's going to be gate. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, we need to go to a different menu here. Terminal 2 International, that's it. Turning right at Sierra 6. And I think I like the sound of gate 16. I'll put a note down there for myself that we're going to note gate 16. Okay, maybe after. Brakes hot, okay. So let's get the brake fans on. Ooh, the left side brakes are quite hot, okay. But I'm not touching them. And I think the gate 16 should be clear of that Singapore Airlines, so we can taxi in, I think. Brakes hot, surveillance decals on standby, autopilot off, so let me go ahead and turn this to acknowledged. Maybe we can clear the message. Pretty sure he said facing west, but here he is facing east. Just maybe a little bit of residual thrust. Idle's gonna slow me down pretty quickly. Gate 16's empty. Clear left. Gate 16, that's ours. Taxi lights can go off. So we'll lose a little bit of momentum on the turn. Very nice. So as nice as the LSS is for moving my head around, it makes moving numbers almost illegible. So it's 0.1, 0.0. I'm not on the brakes at all, so hopefully in 6 meters she's gonna come to a stop before, needs additional momentum. Ah, damn it. We've come to a stop.
Tan Son traffic, Singapore 177 taxiing to runway 25 left via Victor and holding point here 1.
Stopped. Parking brake set. And we'll shut down the last live engine. AP is available? Yes, it is. Engine number 1 cut off.
All right, folks, thanks for your patience. So we've made it now to Tan Son Nhat, the gate. Chocks are in. It's gonna deal with the hot brake situation. But only if I release the parking brake, which I have. So the brakes are no longer actually working. 10 minutes since we landed, and let's go ahead and take a look at how long it took us. There we go. Flight time of 11 hours and 30, sorry, block time of 11 hours and 37 minutes, and a flight time of just over 11 hours. Pretty long flight. What we're going to do now is also stop the replay. Yeah, and we're going to be able to watch that shortly. And hopefully it was, in fact, half a good landing. So let's go take a look. And the parking was mostly okay. It's still slightly skewed. It's easier to tell with longer airplanes. This is Dominic Design Team's new Tan Son Nhat. I can see here the GSX needs to be disabled. Or something else needs to be done, which I will do the next time I update. But it looks miles better than the original. In fact, I think I'll be coming back here more often. I picked it up, but I forgot to pick up the scenery for Ho Chi Minh City. But turns out I had one from flightsim.to, I guess, which served the purpose in VR. We're gonna go off vPilot here. And let's go ahead and start those engines up again, just so we have something going on for us. And I'll get the lights back to where they were when we were on final. I think we had started I'd start recording with flaps up, so that's okay. And APU bleeds on, so let's go ahead and start engine one up again. She's gonna take a little bit longer to start, you see there, she's cooling a little bit first. Newer engines do that. On the Max it says Motring. I don't know what it says on the 320, 321 Neos, but essentially because they're a lot bigger now, and there's more components on the single spool. If you stop spinning them, the hot air rises within their compartment, which causes the metal on the top to expand a little bit. So at the end, instead of a straight rotor, what you have is a sort of a bow. Like they droop a little bit. So what you're essentially trying to do is spin it out to let the centrifugal force work, and they're all straight up now. And then the aircraft adds fuel. So on the Max, it shows up as motoring. It's a BRM. I believe that's what it does. Now that I say it, it sounds a bit silly, but I'm pretty sure it is in fact correct. But um, don't go and tell your flight trainers that I said so. So one of those engines are up. Let's go ahead and start number 2. But let me end this flight on Volanta. Well, it seems that Volanta's got the correct time for on blocks. Says correctly landed at 6:12, but on blocks at 18:08, which is strange, but hopefully it'll sort itself out. And just for the replay, we're not going to use any of the stuff, otherwise it's going to get Volanta confused as well. So we're going to turn that off, and we're going to end the flights here. Go start on the second engine, and let's watch that replay. All right, this is more like I remember it. Let's put on a nice showcase mode so we can just watch. Sorry, folks, there's a call I need to take. This is standard real estate agents calling to ask if I want to sell my house, which I don't. Um, so let's go dark here and let's watch this airplane come down to. Oh, I forgot to. The chocks are on. Let's get the chocks off. Ah, okay. Breaks the immersion a little bit. Chocks on landing. Love it. Do we prefer watching it like this, or do you like the showcase, which I think is a little bit further away, but maybe if we can get her down a little bit, we can see what's happening better. I quite like this rear quarter view of the airplane, slightly above, so we can see the spoilers come out as well. In fact, we might want the other side because we got the Tan Son Nhat, sorry, the Ho Chi Minh CBD on that end. Oh yeah, that looks good. There's a little bit more on my screen, so I'm just gonna bring all of this over so you see what it looks like with that quarter. There we go. That's it. That's it. We're not gonna adjust it anymore. That's the landing view. Let's see how she looks. All right, I'm pleased with that. I am pleased with that. Very nice. Oh yeah. I'm pleased with that. It's a good one. Super cool. I think we might need to watch it again. Yeah, let's give it. Let's look at it one more time, just to make sure that we had a good one there. There we go. And let's play her back. I haven't looked at Volanta yet to see how many. Ooh, ooh. Aish. Very neat. That's gonna be. Oh, the nose slams down a little bit, I think, but that's gonna be one of my better ones. We're gonna take a look at Volanta to see what she thinks of it. I've forgotten to check the landing rate, so let's bring her back up. Oh, it's the music. It can mean only one thing. Unfortunately, folks, I'm gonna have to end the stream here. Real life is catching up with me, and I need to do a few tasks before I head on out to the airport. Thanks for joining me once again. It was fantastic. I had a great flight. Loved the arrival. You can see the brakes are smoking again. But we'll catch you. Well, if you like the stream, you're finding it later, or you found it already, do join for another one. It's been awesome. We'll see you guys around. Take care.